What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Give my man a round of applause for showing up on Sunday with all that's going on in the city of Seattle this weekend. He took time to join the Voice of the Fans podcast, the Sunday edition. Fans, and give yourselves a round of applause for being a part of the Sunday special. We've been doing this for about a month now. The reception's been pretty good. That some people told me I should change the name to Breakfast with Buf, but it's lunchtime out here and where I'm at, so it's that Breakfast with Buf ain't gonna work. But give yourself a round of applause for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans Sunday special. Just to mix it up and give you guys something to talk about. Give you some fresh content. You know, everybody takes off on the weekends, but we here working. We got content to give you guys. We got shit to talk about. We got stuff to talk about. Couple things I noticed over the weekend is what's my man for the Cincinnati Reds?
De La Cruz.
I mean, did they put him in the All-Star game yet?
I don't think he's there yet. I don't recall. I haven't seen the National League roster, but he's doing some crazy things out there.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, but the talk was he wasn't All-Star eligible. The last I heard because he was called up. He didn't start the season. He's so many games. But dude, he has to be the most exciting player in the Major League Baseball this season. Not only is he hitting home runs, he's stealing bases, stole home just the other night. I mean, can you name this isn't going to be a baseball conversation, fan, so don't jump off yet. I just got to – dude has been so incredible. I just got to talk about him. Who's been more exciting than him this season, in all honesty?
I can't really think of a storyline that has more juice to it at this point. Arias close to 400, but that's starting to fade like we all thought. The Padres are not who we thought that they were going to be. So
hold on. Hold on. We're gonna have to get back to this on a regular episode, fans. During the week, Voice of the Fans come up every week. But we're gonna have to. You ain't talking about the San Diego Padres. They can round in the corner. They're round in the corner, and then we're gonna get off baseball right now. But I do want to, before we get into, it's going to be heavy NBA, fans, just to be honest with you. It's going to be heavy NBA. For those of you who's watched Wemby on Friday night, we're going to have our comments on Wemby. Brandon Miller, he played in Sacramento, so we got a few games of his to talk about. Also, Scoot Henderson, not sure if he's going to show up tonight, but he did get injured. So we got a lot to talk about as far as NBA Summer League. We're going to touch on this early season tournament that they announced yesterday. It's not, we can't call it mid-season because it's in December. The season actually starts at Halloween. So the guys are going to be 6-2 going into this BS tournament. So you can't even call it a mid-season tournament. It's like a early season tournament. So we're going to get into that also. And then we're going to talk about some teams that's been impressive through Summer League. Who's really been impressive? I got a couple of teams that I found have been surprisingly impressive. And then Cleveland, I want to get your feedback, fans. So whatever you guys got something to say, tune in. We're here for you.
Sure.
From call exactly. Must see. Yes, definitely. So we're going to talk about more of him. We're going to give him his just due on Wednesday. So this is really going to be about the NBA, fans. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate all your feedback. And Cleveland, let's get into it. Wembanyama, 9 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks. Little shaky, got dunked on. Looked like he was a little out of shape. Looked like he didn't have all his game legs underneath him, which is understandable to a point, right? This is his first game. There was a lot of hype. I don't know if his the game before that when Jabari Smith went off when he went off. They forced as always, his typical NBA fashion. The last 2 minutes of an NBA game takes like 15 minutes to play, as that one did, and so there was a lot of waiting. for Wembanyama to get on the court. You know what I'm saying? You get ready, you get hyped up, you hype yourself up, you get on the court to get on the court, but then you got to wait for this game to be over. That's the kind of quirky thing about summer league. In the NBA, they're not going to have that problem. The game's at 7:30. They're going to do the national anthem, announce the players by 7:37. The game started. Period. All right, regardless who's in the stands, who made it to the stadium, everybody's there ready to go. The game is getting ready to start. But this summer league game kind of forced them to. It maybe started probably 7-8 minutes later than the guys were ready to play. You know what I'm saying? And then they got 5-7 minutes to warm up, and so it's kind of out of sync, right? I'm making excuses, but that's kind of what happens, right? And so you saw shots of him every camera. They had 17 different camera angles on him, and he's leaning against the wall. He didn't know what to do in that early before the game started, and it was that pent up emotion. I don't know if that kind of worked. Maybe could have wore him out. Cleavon, the 5 blocks he had 5 little legit blocks, but there was more of him deterring other shots. You like a couple of times guys didn't want to go in there because they saw he was in there. That's probably going to be his hallmark to start the season. That's what he's going to be able to lean on. As I go ahead and share your thoughts before I continue with my stuff. I don't want to rule the whole show, but go ahead and continue. Go ahead and tell us your thoughts before I continue.
Yeah, no, I think you're right about the nervous energy that was kind of pent up, kind of going into his game. Certainly, players are very, routine oriented and, kind of have an idea of kind of, when they're set to take the court. I think that delay with regards to all the anticipation probably did make him a little bit tired, perhaps. What I saw was a little bit too unselfish for me. I mean, he's a pretty good passer. He has good court vision, and obviously being 7'3", that wingspan can do a lot of things. I saw that it looks like he dribbles a little bit too much. I saw him get ripped a couple times just because, the ball is going so much higher,
Yeah,
back up to his hands. So
we talked about that last week.
Yeah, there's more space for that to happen. The jumper looked a little flat. I thought I was going to see a little bit more of a crisper, cleaner jumper. It looked a little forced to me, but it's just the first game out. So you've seen highlights. You only see the best version of what he's capable of doing. You don't really necessarily see an entire game. All of his flaws and deficiencies that are there that he needs to work on. But it's just one game. I thought he rushed it. I thought he forced it a little bit. He was trying to let the game come to him, but when things weren't happening, he seemed like he was definitely trying to do a little bit too much in the time that he was out there, kind of trying to make a splash, kind of trying to give people their money's worth, so to speak. The defense is definitely ahead of the offensive side from what you were saying as well.
Yeah, agree there. Defensively is definitely ahead of the offensive side, but I have to disagree. I don't think he forced it enough. I don't think there was a couple plays where he tried to go to the hole and it wasn't there. I don't think he forced it enough. I expected him to kind of do a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball. I thought he was a little early on when he saw that he couldn't have his way. Well, let me take that back. There was a play where he grabbed a rebound, dribbled it up court, and drew the defense to him, and then kicked it off, but the guy missed the lay-in. That was kind of like, okay, he showed he had some handles early on in the game. I think that had to be the second or third play in the game. I expected to see more of that. I don't think he was kind of aggressive enough. Now that might come to size though, because we saw when he tried to back the dude down, like the dude wasn't moving, and he really can't back the dude down. And to your point, he was doing a little bit too much dribbling. So I think it's going to be 1-2 dribbles, get your shot up. 1-2 dribbles, get your pass the ball. And more time with Pop, I think he'll gain that understanding of the rhythm and flow of the game. I think what impacted Wembanyama is also another thing that impacted Wembanyama is that there's the full team. This is a summer league game where these other guys are trying to make the team as well. So they're trying to And kudos to the Spurs for not running plays specifically for him and try to spoon feed him. Well, they're allowed other guys to play the game. Kudos to them for that point. But that's when I say um, Brandon Miller, on the other flip side of that, he's playing with guys who, again, summer league guys who probably are not going to be on the team. So I don't think that does Brandon Miller any service because he's playing with guys who probably not going to be in the NBA. So he can't really get his rhythm and flow. I'm gonna just set that aside. But in Wemby's situation, again, I say kudos to the Spurs for not kind of dictating and running 3 and 4 plays for him, and they just got to let him play, let the flow of the game play, and try to let him get his points within that within the flow of the game. And I think to his point, or to I don't think that did Wembanyama a service because now he's playing in the flow of this game, but he's not really. He looked out of sorts to me. He didn't look like he had NBA legs. He didn't look like he had NBA flow, in my opinion, from what I saw. And so his game was kind of separate. Um, the threes, obviously, he threw up one clunker, one shot kind of went in. But even in that shot that where he got the 4 point play, it didn't look as rhythmic, if you will. And so he's going to need some time to get his legs up under him. But bottom line, he's going to need some time for that. He's going to need some time to get the flow of the game. He looked exhausted coming out in the second half of the game. He looked tired. He didn't look like aggressive. He didn't look like he had rhythm in him. And we saw not only did the guy try to back him down, or excuse me, not only could he not really back the guy down, the defense down, the guy came in. He got a blocked shot. They called a foul, which I didn't really think was a foul. But the guy just put his shoulder right in his sternum, and he bounced. He fell back about 3 feet, and the player thought he can get a jumper off, and Wemby blocked it. I don't know if you remember that shot. He blocked it, and I expect to see kind of more of that there, but more of the guys putting. Again, this is another college player putting his shoulder into a sternum. Imagine when Draymond Green puts his shoulder into a sternum. Imagine when Jokic puts his chest or his shoulder into his sternum. Imagine that type of dominance. So I think Wemby's gonna obviously have to grow, obviously have to get stronger. But what I did like and what I did see is he's gonna have to pick his spots when he can. He has the handles, but he's gonna have to pick his spots when he shows that he has the handles. That's what I thought of Wemby. The 8 points was very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. I think it was like 2 for 13 or something. He's able to hit a free throw. He's able to hit free throws, so that's a good thing. If he Kareem, your guy Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was in the building. I hope somebody shows him how to shoot the hook shot. I hope somebody takes it upon themselves to tell Wemby to get in the block, take your 2-step, and throw up the hook shot. Because who's gonna block that fucking hook shot? Cat was 7'2". This dude is 7'5". Who's gonna block that hook shot if he learns to shoot that effectively? I'm not sure. You got anybody in the league you think can block that shot?
Well, it's funny. I used to think that I used to be of that same mindset that I don't understand why the most unstoppable shot in the history of the game has never been replicated. And I've come to the conclusion that it perhaps just is not that easy to replicate. But to your point, I do think that he needs a move, a go-to move. Like I'm not saying necessarily the dream shake or the Dirk fade, but he needs to find something where he gets to his spot. That's what he's comfortable doing, and there's no one that can stop him from doing it. And at that size and his skill set, he should be able to find that.
Yeah, and I don't really want it to be the fadeaway 3. I don't want to be it to the Dirk fall away at the elbow. I think it needs to be something where he can go off the glass if need be. I mean, he's gonna have to develop some size because guys ain't gonna easily let him get position himself in the block. So that's gonna come over the time. But he has a skill set. He has the skill set to develop that. I would think, and from what I saw, from the little bit I saw, he does have the skill set to develop that the hook shot,
move. Yeah,
the go-to move. I think why not the hook shot? He's gonna have to learn these moves anyway, right? Teach that kid the hook shot. I mean, there's gonna be unstoppable. What did you see from it? Another thing that surprised me is like we talked about. We agreed that the defense is ahead of the offense. He was out there guarding Brandon Miller. I mean, although Brandon Miller, took him a couple moves and finally crossed him up, and he got fouled trying to go to the hole. But Brandon Miller, he's been underwhelming. In Sacramento, one game he scored 5 points. The first game he was 4 for 12 or something like that. Brandon Miller, dude, you're not only are the number 2 draft spot, not only are people saying that Charlotte made a tremendous mistake by taking you over Scoop. Dog, you're supposed to be able to get your shot. And so far, I haven't seen that he's able to get his shot. Now, to his credit, he is playing with guys who probably aren't going to be in the NBA. So that flow, that system that the Spurs were kind of running again, as I say, the Spurs didn't kind of run a Wemby essential offense. They just kind of ran their offense and let Wemby play within that. Brandon Miller, I'm not sure I saw offense that the Hornets were running. I'm not sure. I think with LaMelo on the court, the game will kind of be a little different because LaMelo will have the ball, and LaMelo can penetrate and kick. And Miller's specialty, I think the best part of his game is being able to catch and shoot, and then catch and pump fake, take a couple steps, drive to the hole. So he's able to shoot from 3. He's able to take his couple steps, get to the come in from the elbow or for the wing and hit that jumper as well. How far can he get to the hole is what we're going to see from him in the NBA. But he's just been underwhelming with the ball in his hands. And this is why I think it was better that he didn't go to Portland, because they would if he went to Portland, he'd have Dame to play with, supposedly, as long as Dame is there. But they have already wing players that kind of play his same style of game. That's why I don't think it was a good idea for. That's why I think he was a better fit for Charlotte, because he'll be able to play off LaMelo better than he would survive in Portland, in my opinion. We'll see how things shake out. But what did you see from Brandon Miller? Were you surprised that Wemby was guarding him? Were you surprised that he was allowing Wemby to guard him?
Yeah, I was surprised that he switched out on him. I wouldn't think that would be his natural guarding position. I don't really pick too much into what Brandon's been doing so far. I think I was a little bit surprised that his shot wasn't a little bit more consistent. But I did like the range with it. I mean, I think that
Oh, he got range. Got range. And so, he's gonna be able to catch you off the dribble. And his passing is, I think, a little bit better than I anticipated. But the consistency, as you mentioned, the consistency hasn't been there. I expected to be more consistent. And are you on the? I heard you talking about Scoop over the last couple of weeks. Are you in agreement that Charlotte made the wrong decision by taking him over Scoop?
No, I think that it would be difficult for LaMelo and Scoop to play at the same time. I mean, I think obviously, given that they're both very talented players, you could try and find a way to make it fit, but I think it would just be very forced, and I think it would take away from one of the other's game. I think they're both very ball dominant, and it's hard to have like two legitimate point guards kind of on the court at the same time.
So, yeah, I certainly agree with you. Their games would conflict with each other as I see it. And my expectation with the games would be kind of conflictive. With that being said, he's going to be in Portland with Anthony Simons, right? And Shaedon Sharpe actually was another player watching. He looks like he's ready. This is his second year. He looks like he's ready. He looked like he went to the lab in the off season. He came out with a jumper that he didn't have last year. Obviously, he can. He's a high flyer, so he can get to the hole, and his handles looked a little bit better. So I think that really complemented Scoot's game from what we saw of Scoot the other night as well, Friday night as well. I think that Shaden Sharp's ability, and here's my point about Brandon Miller not playing with legitimate NBA players and how that made his game kind of took away from his game. Scoot playing with some legit NBA players who clearly are hungry, right? And clearly want to show what they got. That made Scoot look even better. You follow what I'm saying? That's why I think Portland is pleasantly surprised right now. And we're gonna have to talk about. I don't know what do you think Dame thought when he was watching that game? Do you think I might want to stay here? I might want to stick it out for a minute and see what happens. You talked about this might go to a trade deadline situation where they might see Dame on the court. I mean, at some point, is Dame going to say, "Okay, hold up on Miami"?
No, again, this is summer league, Cam. So let's not get too carried away. This isn't even like a preseason game. This is a summer league game. And Shaden Sharp was coming on very late last year. After they had all their injuries, they just decided, well, this is your audition these last 15, 20 games. See what you can do. You pretty much have a blank canvas, free reign to kind of get let yourself loose and see what you can do. So not surprising that he came back after that experience a lot better. He's one of those players kind of like Smith Jr. It's like, okay, it's probably getting pretty close to time to shut this down for you. You came back the second year, you proved you're that dude, and okay, at least at this level. So there's nothing left to see here or prove here. So hopefully they shut him down fairly quickly.
Who shut down Sharp here
Shaden Sharp and Jabari Smith. Yeah, they need to shut it down.
Well, Jabari Smith. So you're good. The one game he had, the game
where
we're
good. We're good. If you can go for 33 in a summer league game, I mean, what else are we doing out here?
Okay, Keegan Murray went for 41. I mean,
yeah.
You say thanks. Okay,
we saw him last year, kind of get his sea legs. Yeah, this is not the league for like if you really can do something. This is the league to kind of show, to like gain confidence and like see kind of the flashes of brilliance and glimpses of what we can expect. But if you're already out there doing that, yeah, man.
So so speaking of Keegan Murray, second year coming back, second year in the league. Sacramento, I told you about the Sacramento Kings was number 2 in the West.
Mm-hmm.
With De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, they got Harrison Barnes is coming back. Now Keegan Murray is hungry. So he proves that he's hungry. He proves that he belongs. Does that change your mind on the Sacramento Kings?
That summer league game that you were referring to? Yeah, no, it doesn't change my mind whatsoever. No, I'm good for him. He got out there and busted up those summer leaguers.
Hey, this is a recurring theme, fans. I don't know how long you guys been following the show, but I spent 6 months talking about them Sacramento Kings, and I could not get my man to budge on them one time. But we're working on Keegan. Good on you, Keegan. Good on you, Keegan, for doing what you do. You only add fuel to my fire, fuel to the argument of these Sacramento Kings being the top of the Western Conference next season. But yeah, he went off for a big game as well. Scoot, I think look, Portland got some young studs, man. Portland got some young studs, and without Dame, how does what we've seen from Portland, knowing that these got these young studs, do you want draft picks? Like, you want 3 first rounders and still run with this youth movement? Do you still expect a league starter in the NBA? You're not going to get an all-star, I doubt it. Does this change anything you're asking for with trading Dame and Lillard? Seeing what you've seen from this young guy.
No, because you're not going to get equal value for Dame. It just never happens when you trade a superstar. So you get as much as you can. and you try and get the pieces that are best fit for you, if possible. But sometimes that's not even possible. So I don't think it changes the youth movement that Portland is going through, and I think that they probably would want the picks more than just some players. I think they would prefer to kind of have their own imprint on as opposed to players that may or may not necessarily fit what they're doing.
So with that being said, if you're going youth movement, you're really not expecting to make a charge in the league anytime soon because the young players just don't win, right?
2 seasons.
I mean, next year you're going to have more youth movement. Considering if you get three number ones, you're probably not going to get 3 number ones for next season, but every other year you get some number ones. You're just adding more youth to this team. That doesn't. You're not going to win with.
Yeah, but the youth that you have is gaining more experience, so it's not all at the same time. I mean, it's gradual. So, and if you get good enough players, then I think that's kind of what they need.
Is Scooter number one guy?
We'll see next year. I mean, this first season is just again to get your feet wet, right? I don't see anything that's going to say, "Ooh, he's going to take the league by storm." He's going to do the Ja Morant thing or the Derrick Rose thing. I mean, I don't think he's got that type of ability from what I've seen so far. But I mean, it's early, but I don't have that level of expectation for him. I think he's just going to get in and if he's 20 points a game, you're pleasantly surprised.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Who else surprised you in the summer league? Did anybody catch your eye? Teams or players?
I guess the other dude in the San Antonio game, what we got? What was his name? Chardonnay or something like that.
Oh, Champagne. Yeah,
Champagne. Yeah, he looked real serious. Like he was kind of taking this opportunity while all the cameras were on.
we're out there. Yeah, exactly.
Show that I'm here too. So
exactly.
Yeah, he was definitely making the most of his opportunities, and again, we were seeing the unselfishness of Wembanyama that he had it going. So he kind of shifted the focus of of the team to him a little bit.
Well, he has the ball in his hand, and he kind of was taking souls out there. He had a couple dunks, poster dunks. I think he saw Man's dunk the other night and try to get on that poster earlier in the season as well. But yeah, Champagne, he had a 30 point game. Follow that up with the 23 point game on Friday night. So yeah, he's playing and he's surprising cats. He's showing that he's out here trying to make it happen as well, taking advantage of the opportunity, taking advantage of the limelight and the cameras being on him. He's trying to do something. So that's a good call by you. The Houston Rockets. We were there last year. We saw Tari Eason get down. We know they have Jaden Green already there. But the Rockets, one of the twins. I think both of the twins, Thompson twins, showed out. For the one for the Rockets, I'll mix them up, so I'm not even gonna say the Thompson twins. Both of them stepped up and showed a promising play for their teams. But the Houston Rockets look like they're loaded with a slew of young players who's ready to produce tomorrow. Again, this is summer league, but it showed me that Dylan Brooks might be fighting for minutes in Houston. It looked like he's not walking to a situation where he becomes a starter and he's getting 23 minutes a game because they have some talent in Houston. They have some talent in Houston. I don't know what you noticed from them, but if you pair Van Vliet with that team, now they have a floor general. I showed you their roster last week where they're going to have Tari Eason out there is a dog ready to ball. What did you see from the Rockets? Obviously they have Jabari Smith showed that he's been in the lab this offseason and he's ready to come back because he was kind of had a silent season last year with a number 3 pick, if I'm not mistaken, who really didn't make any waves last season, but he showed that he's ready to play this season. What's your thoughts on the Houston Rockets and their collection of talent?
To be determined. They all look really, really raw. Like at times they can do some things, but they don't really have any players that really, in my opinion, have ever really put it all together. Like it's always like sometimes they do this really, really good or that really, really good, but never really a complete game and never all at the same time. So maybe
Watch this. Watch this, fans. Watch this, fans. Watch this. Why did you say, Cleavon, that the Boston Celtics were going to fall flat on their face last season? Why did you say that? What was the reason?
Because they lost their coach.
Oh, really? Oh, coaching. So took him a little bit, fans. Took him some time to come around, but he finally agreed that coaching made a difference. He finally agreed that coaching makes a difference. So now, Cleavon, with coaching in Houston, because I know how you like Udoka. We know how you feel about Udoka going down into Houston. Don't you think that's going to create some things? That's going to create a situation where Houston can elevate their game a little faster?
Curious to see how he responds to a younger team. I mean, Boston was I don't want to say that they were elderly, but
Come on.
They certainly had superstars that were kind of in their fifth or sixth year, as opposed to like their second or third year. And those guys had also had an opportunity to accomplish some things before. This is kind of starting from the very beginning, starting from scratch, and let's be honest, they have a few head cases over there. So, Udoka is definitely a little bit on the abrasive side. So we'll see if they have to go to sensitivity training and, all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I see a lot of players that haven't figured it out yet. So if they can figure it out,
that's where coaching
they're
comes in.
talented.
That's where coaching comes in. And
coaching
so
can help with that.
I don't have to explain to you what I think about coaching, how I think coaching can impact the team. But you mentioned it yourself. When he leaves Boston, what your expectations were then, even though obviously they're a little bit more experienced, Boston was, and wasn't as big of a factor. But what he's going to bring is some discipline for these young guys who haven't had the discipline. He also bringing in a champion in Van Vliet who knows how to play the point guard position, knows how to get everybody involved. Is Van Vliet Magic Johnson? No, he's not. Is Van Vliet Rajon Rondo, where he gets on a team and takes them from he's able to lead teams to NBA Finals. You see what he did, what Rondo did for your Lakers. Is he Rajon Rondo? No, he's not. But what he's going to do is he's going to be just a consistent point guard who's able to get put points on the board, and then able to get other guys involved. And then he's not going to take the limelight from some of these stars who's ready to shine. So I think Houston, just on paper, they're solidly the 7th seed in the West.
Oh my goodness.
They're solidly the 7th seed in the West. They're in the play-in tournament. They're in the play-in tournament already, just on talent alone.
Okay.
Where am I wrong?
Yeah, you're definitely wrong. You're so wrong. You're so wrong. You're so
on
wrong.
On talent alone, fans. Mark, check this. July 9th, 2023. Houston, saying the Houston Rockets are in the play-in tournament. I think they're 7th seed, 8th seed at worst, just on talent alone. Where can Udoka take them? Can Udoka elevate them to 6th seed? They're not going to be the 5th seed. I mean, they're not taking the Clippers at 5. They're not taking the Lakers at 4. That's not what I'm saying. They're solidly in the 7th seed. They're in the play-in tournament on talent alone.
Yeah, they absolutely are not.
Give me your 7 teams. Give me 7 teams. Give me 7 teams better than them right now. I mean, I'll help you. Denver, Sacramento.
To the thing. Let's say Denver's better. Right?
Denver, Golden State, Sacramento, Memphis, the Lakers, the Clippers. That's 6 teams right there.
Okay. And you haven't mentioned the Phoenix Suns.
I didn't mention the Phoenix Suns.
You haven't mentioned the New Orleans Pelicans.
They're right.
You haven't mentioned the Oklahoma City Thunder.
They're right in that mix.
The Minnesota
they're right in that mix.
Wolves.
They're right in that mix right there.
There's the
there's
Utah
10 teams.
Jazz.
All right.
So the West is thick, my dude. It's not. Yeah.
so they're 8. They're 8.
Yeah.
They're better.
And then we don't even know what Wembanyama. We don't know what Wembanyama is going to bring to San Antonio.
They're not going to. They're not making the playoffs next year. They're right along with Minnesota, Utah. They're right in that category. I mean, Utah's not a top 17, a top 16. Come on. They're right in that Minnesota.
Phoenix on your list was number 7 because you
threw Phoenix, yeah, I did.
And we didn't even mention the Dallas Mavericks, so they're not better than the Dallas Mavericks.
You slide them. Well, yeah, that's the West, buddy. The
Western Conference.
Yeah, okay, I might have to amend that to number 9. They're comfortably
you're gonna have to amend that too. Maybe they are fighting for that 10 to try and get into the playoffs.
They're in the play-in 10. I'll say they're in the playoff. That's 7. Staying there in the playoffs. They're in the play-in is 7 to 10. So they're in that play-in. I'm comfortable in saying they're in the play-in turn. But okay, maybe not 7. Maybe 9. Maybe 9.
Maybe
9.
If they overachieve, yeah.
If they overachieve, no, Udoka have them at 7 if they overachieve.
No. Overachievement is getting to the play-in tournament.
Wow.
That would be
overachieving is getting to the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that one, boss. I'm not sure about that one. But the Pistons also look good with Jaden Ivey. Duran playing on the squad. They look really good. Again, it is summer league, but their ability to play off each other, play with each other. Cade Cunningham didn't play. But I like what I saw out of Wiseman. Again, I don't know. I don't know what the issue was with Wiseman and the Golden State Warriors. I don't understand that. I think they gave up on Wiseman way too young. However, they gave up on Wiseman. Now they got 2, him and Duran down low. They got Ivy. They got Cade Cunningham. I want to say, didn't they pick up a shooter? Didn't they pick up a shooter in the offseason? I want to say they did pick up a shooter in the offseason that kind of rounds out their squad. And gives them a good well-rounded team. They may be in a play-in tournament. Like they may be playing in the play-in tournament where they were crap last year. That'll be a step up from them. What did you see Wiseman? Did you see Ivy? Did you see them guys playing together?
I didn't see any of that. I believe that their season goes as far as Cade Cunningham can take them if he's healthy and can actually contribute and be, any semblance of the player that we've been looking for. Then they have an opportunity to do that. It is the Eastern Conference, so yeah, it's a little bit easier to get in the play-in over there. So, yeah, I have to wait to see a healthy Cade Cunningham to kind of see what they can do.
Again, a scorer, Cade Cunningham is going to be a scorer. Again, Jaden Ivey, Jane Duran, they got Corey Joseph. I'm trying to see who they picked up. I thought they picked up somebody. I thought they picked up a shooter. I'm not seeing them on the roster. They got Alex Burke. I really thought they picked up a shooter to complement these guys. At least he's not on the roster right now. But we'll see what they're able to do. Talk to me about your thoughts on this play-in tournament. I know you're all excited about this play-in tournament. Adam Silver just want to go back to Vegas and look like for a couple of days during the summer or during December. The tiers, the tiers don't make any sense. How they split them up into 3, each conference into 3 different teams. It doesn't make any sense. The pods they got, the West A is Memphis, Phoenix, the Lakers, Utah, and Portland. West B is Denver, Clippers, Pelicans, Mavericks, and Rockets. West C is Kings, Warriors, Timberwolves, Thunder, and Spurs. The East is East A is 76ers, Cavaliers, Hawks, Pacers, and Pistons. East B is Bucks, Knicks, Heat,
Mhm.
Wizards, and Hornets. East C is Celtics, Nets, Raptors, Bulls, and Orlando Magic. So
Hmm.
these guys will play the teams. The teams with three best prior season records will in a conference. The teams will play. They play 4 games apiece. Um, Let me see. Excuse me. They say they were randomly selected. Um, the group play. They will play. Every team is involved. Obviously, tournament nights will take place every Tuesday and Friday from November 3rd, so the beginning of the season, to the 28th. Basically, November 3rd has to be the beginning of the season. If the season starts October, I mean, they may have one or two games prior to that. Not looking at the full schedule. Um, the only NBA games played on tournament nights will be group play games. Group play would count as a regular season game for all purposes. All these games count towards your regular season and towards records, except for that final championship game. Um, a team will play each of the other teams in the group play 1 game. The team's record out of these 4 interconference games will be determined what teams qualify for the knockout rounds. In the event 2 or more teams are tied within the group, the tie among the teams will be broken according to the following tiebreakers: head-to-head records in group stage, point differential in group stage, total points scored in group stage, regular season record from the previous season, and a random drawing if it comes down to that. 8 teams will advance to the knockout rounds. The team with the best standing in group play games in each of the 6 groups, and 1 wild card game from each conference. The wild card team will be the team from each conference with the best record in group play that finished second in its group. In the event 2 or more teams are tied for the wild card conference, the tie among the teams will be broken following the same tiebreaker protocol we just described. Teams within the group will teams in the group will be broken before the calculation of before the wild card tiebreakers. The knockout rounds will consist of single game elimination, for 8 teams that advance to group play, beginning the quarterfinals on December 4 and 5. The teams that win will progress on to the neutral site semifinals December 7th, and then a championship game on December 9th in Las Vegas, obviously. So they'll play only the semifinals and championship will be in December. What's your thoughts on this? How do you like this so far?
Sounds a little choppy, but let's roll it out. See how it goes, man. Let's roll it out.
Let's roll it out. You would Adam Silver on this. I don't
Yeah.
like it. I don't like it. I thought this was supposed to be a mid-season. It's it's a kick off the season is what it is. That's what it sounds like. It's a season kickoff tournament. The It's the Maui Classic is what this is in the NBA basketball. Stop it, man. If if they're not going to adopt a rule of going NBA versus the world in the All-Star game, why not throw this out for the All-Star game? All-Star week. Take 2 weeks off, roll this out for All-Star weekend. Let that championship game be All-Star weekend, if you will. This here, I mean, the season's just starting. The season is just starting. The guys aren't even the guys aren't even they're not even in rhythm here when you're trying to give us a tournament game. It's this I'm not sure I like this. And so prizing and league honors for the 2023 season, the in-season tournament prize pool will be allocated to the players on the teams participating in the knockout rounds, with allocations increasing depending on how far the team progresses in the tournament. At the conclusion of the in-season tournament, preseason. Let's just call it the preseason tournament. I'm changing the name, Adam Silver, to the preseason tournament. The NBA will name the most valuable player of the competition and all tournament team. Selections will be based on players' performance in both group play and the knockout rounds. So they said something like the winners get 500 grand a piece. That's a lot of wasted money, dog. These guys are already making millions of dollars. Now you're going to pay 10 players 500 million. That's $5 million that you're blowing out the door. You can do something better with that money. As far as I think that money could be spent differently. What's your thoughts on that?
Now you have to incentivize even millionaires to do things. So
500 grand, dog. 500 grand. That might not pay for might not pay for their families and their wags to get to Vegas and their party in Vegas. That might not pay for that.
Well,
no comment there. No comment there. I got it.
It is something. It's better than nothing.
So you're excited about this? Sound like you?
I'm excited about to see how it works. Something, throw something a little extra in there.
I don't know. I don't know if I like it, man. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it, man. We'll see. Obviously, we're going to be forced to watch it. Of course, it's a money grab. The Maui Classic in the NBA. They stopped calling it in-season tournament. We're going to have to change the name to the preseason tournament because that's essentially what it is. I don't think it's going to be the best basketball. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. Fans, let us know what you guys think of this preseason tournament in the NBA. @_voice of the fans. @_voice of the fans. So you can find us 7 days a week. @_voice of the fans on Twitter. @_voice of the fans on Twitter. We are also on Threads. I don't know, Cleveland. Have you ventured into Threads yet? We are also on Threads, fans. So if you guys have made the move from Twitter or Instagram to Threads, we are on Threads @voice of fans on Threads. Voice of fans on Threads. Or you put my name in there, Cameron Buford. Are you on Threads, Cleveland?
I am not on Threads currently.
You got to get fans or Cleveland. 10 million people signed up in 2 days, man. Where you been?
Apparently
where you been?
Apparently under a rock somewhere.
Man, come out the office every now and then. Take a breath of fresh air. Get on Threads. Join the world, man. Check us out on Threads. Everybody's on there. Come check us out. Have a little bit of fun. You can also let the fans know where they can find you since they can't find you on Threads, Cleveland.
Cleveland Wonder on Twitter. Cleveland Steel on Instagram.
And once again, fans, you can find us. You can be a part of the show. Send your show topics to @_voice of the fans on Twitter. @_voice of the fans on Twitter. We have to give you a word from our sponsor, so hold tight. Let me do that. I want to thank you guys obviously for being a part of the show. And here is a word from our sponsor.
Planning a vacation can be a lot of work, and you never know if you're really getting the best deal. Working with an Evolution agent and booking an all-inclusive resort takes the stress out of planning a vacation. Where else can you stay in high-end accommodations, eat at your choice of restaurants, and have fun, all covered under one cost? With an all-inclusive vacation, you can relax and have fun without worrying about the bill. And when it comes time to find your perfect all-inclusive, your Evolution agent is ready to help. Do you want a family resort with fun for all ages? Or an adults-only getaway for any type of couple? Your Evolution agent knows the best places to go, the best time of year, and what to really expect. Call your Evolution agent and let them do the planning for you. So all you have to do is relax and enjoy a stress-free prepaid vacation. Call today. They have access to timely specials that will end soon.
Yeah, fans, that's a message from our sponsor, Evolution Travel. If you guys got some travel plans, you got a wedding, destination wedding, you got a birthday, you want to do some cruises, scan that barcode. It'll be there for you. You can find the show up once again on YouTube @Voice of the Fans on YouTube, @Voice of the Fans on YouTube. You can actually find that barcode @Voice of the Fans on Twitter. @_ voice of the fans on Twitter. Let me take that back. We're also H&B Media. Hit those guys up, H&B Media, if you want to get a lot of basketball content. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Want to give yourself a round of applause. Give my man Cleveland a round of applause for showing up on a Sunday. Give my man Cleveland showing up on Sunday. And yourselves also deserve a cheer for showing up for the Sunday special. Fans, one time, appreciate you guys tuning in. Cleveland, enjoy the rest of your day. What's the actual count? How many Mariners made the All-Star team? Cleveland, can you give us before we let you go?
I know 2, maybe 3.
I mean 2, maybe 3. The All-Star game is in 2 days. How many made the All-Star game?
I think 2 or 3.
Oh, maybe by the end of the week.
I know Kirby and Julio Rodriguez for sure. Maybe one other pitcher. I can't recall.
The first baseman didn't make it. What about Wu? Did Wu make it to the All-Star game?
No, he's been impressive since his first start, but no.
No. All right, who you got in the home run derby?
Polar Bear, Pete Alonso.
Oh, you're not leaning on your hometown crowd, your hometown guy anymore, huh?
He's a left-hander, so he's got the shorter porch. So.
Oh, Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Okay, so let the people know what ceremonies are going, where to be up in the Northwest for the All-Star weekend. What's actually going down? Wait, Hydroplanes is not Seafair. When is Seafair? That 2 weeks from today or 2 weeks from this weekend?
Oh, Hydroplanes are about a month out. I believe that's first week in August.
And Seafair, now they extend the Seafair is like 3 weeks long now. It's not just a 1 weekend.
Yeah, no, a lot of different events, a lot of different festivals. So yeah, it encompasses quite a different variety of things. So yeah, it's a couple of weeks.
Okay, and so what's going on today up in the Northwest? What's the event to go to?
I don't believe the Ballard Seafood Festival is this weekend. I think this weekend has been mostly just kind of dedicated to ancillary all-star events. So, had the HBCU Classic on Friday and the celebrity softball. I don't remember what the other event was today. And a few events that are taking place kind of at the WAMU Theater area. So.
Okay. WAMU. The Washington Mutual. Is that what WAMU is?
That's what it's called, although there is no Washington Mutual anymore. So it's kind of
that got sold to Chase, huh?
Yeah, so it's kind of an odd name for it. Yeah.
Okay. No Washington Mutual, but it's the WAMU building. Okay. Fans, once again, thank you guys for tuning in Voice of the Fans podcast. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for supporting. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And as always, fan, thank you guys for making our voice your choice. And we thank you for tuning in Saudi.
Hey.
Thank you for tuning in Saudi.
Thanks so much.
We all over the place, fans. So again, give yourself a round of applause.
International out here. Getting international.
Give yourself a round of applause. And again, tell a friend to tell a friend about the Voice of the Fans podcast, because we appreciate all you guys. We're here a couple of days a week now. Sunday special, something I'm enjoying. How about you, Cleveland? Clearly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's good to kind of get a quick chat in before the big show.
Yeah. All right, fans. Well, thank you guys again. Thank you guys from all over the world. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, fans, thank you for making our voice your choice.